So welcome to the call, everyone. My name is Jacqueline McGrath. I'm a national director with Epicure. I'm not going to, normally I would tell my little story here, but honestly, because I did the recording, it would be redundant if I added it twice. So you're going to hear my story in a few minutes. What tonight's training is all about is we are going to get you off to a really great start with some good training. And in order for you to get the most out of tonight's training, I would highly recommend that you grab a pen, a paper, and get ready to write copious notes. The training will last about 50 minutes long. At the end, I will just do a quick little close. Any questions that you have from today's training, please, please, please write them down on a piece of paper, and then on your My Epicure site, you're going to find your upline leader. You're going to connect and reach out to that leader and get them to answer your pertinent questions to make sure we've got all the I's dotted and T's crossed. How does that sound? So without any further ado, let's get started with your new training. Ready? Here we go. Hello and welcome to Epicure and your new consultant training. We're so excited that you've joined us to become an ambassador to the good food movement. And when you hear what I'm going to share, you're going to understand how important this is and how easy and how it's going to help you while helping others. Because literally, as big business in the food industry has gone up in profits, our health has been going down. In fact, we have such high levels of diabetes, it's actually epidemic. And the increases in our heart disease and the fact that they say our children have a lower expectancy in life than we do, that is just not okay. And we believe that if this is going to change, it's going to happen by helping people learn how to eat real food again. It's going to actually change around a dinner table, because they say 80% of illnesses can be modified or changed with a good food program, and that's what Epicure is all about. So honestly, this is so exciting that you've joined us, because we have a huge mission, and I'm so excited you're here to help us with that movement. So who am I? Well, my name is Jacqueline McGrath. I'm a national director with Epicure, and I am the top income earner in the company. And you might be saying, how did you get there? Because honestly, I had no direct sales experience, and yet here I am. So if I am here doing this at my level, why not you? And I'm going to share a little bit about my story, so hopefully you can maybe resonate with something that I say, so you can understand that your opportunities are just as easy as mine were. So back years ago, my husband lost his job to downsizing. In fact, I was an at-home mom at the time. I had two small little boys, and they were my world. So when we were forced to really have to be on a budget, and honestly, I'm not good at budgets, I realized that I had to do something else. Now, originally, we thought, my husband and I chatted, and we thought maybe I could go back to my career, which was in the dental field. And we did consider it. However, it just wasn't checking off three boxes. Number one is, when I got married and had children, I had said to my husband, I want to be their mom. I wanted to be their influencer. I wanted to be there to raise my children instead of someone else raising them. I didn't want to miss their first steps, miss their first words, and be that, core person for those little boys that I was raising. So the other thing that I wasn't checking off is I actually thought about the cost, because childcare is extremely expensive. So going to work for someone else and then forking over almost all that money to my childcare, at the end of the day, I really wasn't putting a lot in my bank account. And then the third thing is I factored in going to work, having to get up super early, and I am not a morning person, and getting my children ready, packing them up, taking them to someone else to raise, going to work, working really hard for an 8-hour day, coming home, hitting that awful commute, grabbing the kids, coming home exhausted, depleted, and then putting dinner on the table and trying to squeeze my number one priority, which was my children, into a small period of time at the end of the day. I had to find another option. And we were at a crossroads, and that's where Epicure came in. So my why was huge. If I could make some extra money doing this job, I was farther ahead than going back to my full-time career. And so I did. I worked really hard. I stepped out of my comfort zone. I probably made every mistake there is in the book, and yet, you know what? I learned. And that's what we're here today to discover is some of the tips and techniques I have used over the years to help me build the success I have. I would love to share the success with you. So trust me, you are at the right place at the right time. So grab your pen and paper, and what we're going to do for the next little bit is we're going to run through some training. If you have any questions, write them down, and we'll address it at the end of the training. Are you ready to dig in? Okay, so let's get started. So one of the first things you need to do when you join a business like this is you need to start treating it like a business. And with any conventional business out there, we have to have business hours. So working from home can be a bit of a challenge, but the easiest way to get yourself started is literally get into your computer or go into a calendar and print off the next 3 months. Because if you don't take control of your business and your calendar, someone else will. Trust me, I learned that. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through 3 months, and you're going to go through and really look for dates that you're available to work. And these are 8 blocks of time that are about 2 hours long. Now, most of the time our cooking classes happen in the evening, but that being said, it doesn't have to. You can have evening classes, you can have brunch classes, you can have lunch and learns, you can have after school or after work classes, and you can do weekends. So very, very flexible. So no matter what your life looks like, honestly, find 8 dates. And when you find 8 2-hour segments of time, I want you to identify them for the next 3 months. Now, why are we doing this? Every time you book a cooking class, there's an opportunity for you to make money. With an average cooking class of $400, you can be making $100 in that 90 minutes of time. So how much money do you want to make? So let's get that project done. Do 3 months, 8 open dates for you to do this business, and you're off to the races. So that's step number 1. The next thing is you've just joined, and we need to launch our business just like a new business would. They would have a grand opening. Well, we're going to have a launch party, and what we're going to do is from when you signed up, I would love you to count 7 to 10 days out and mark it on your calendar and set that as your launch date. Now, you might be saying, oh my gosh, I just started. I need to know everything first before I start. And I'm going to tell you, it's food. It's so darn easy. And in fact, all you need to do is make a little bit of food. I recommend you do the Mexican theme and whip up some food. And then your biggest job is just to get friends, family, and neighbors over to your house. So what that might sound like is simply writing a list of all the people that you know and getting on the phone. And it could sound something like this. Hi, Ashley, it's Jacqueline. Did I catch you at a good time? Great. Hey, Ashley, I just joined a brand new business called Epicure. Have you heard of them? Now, if they've heard of them, chances are they're going to say, oh, wow, great. I'm so excited. I'm coming over. If they haven't heard of them, you might have to just share a little bit about how this is an opportunity. You're going to have food there. Come on over and taste it. I am showing people how they can make a raw-to-ready meal in 20 minutes or less, and you've got to taste how amazing it is. Can I count on you to come to my home on Saturday? Okay, now the 2 things I want to indicate here is make sure you do not sound like a telephone solicitor. Have a conversation and always end with, can I count on you? And you will have to go back and remind people. So make sure that just before your launch party, you go back and remind people about the date, because we all get busy, right? So your 2 projects on this page to do is print off your next 3 months, find 8 2-hour segments that you can actually make money for every month, and then figure out when that launch event's going to happen. If you don't do that launch event, you know what's going to happen? you're going to get cold feet. And we don't want you getting cold feet because there is a pot of gold sitting at the end of your business kit. You just need to get out there and start doing it, okay? So are you ready? Let's get started. Okay, so we've got ourselves sort of organized, but now it's time to think about some of the things we're going to have to do to make our business very successful. And these are income producing activities. Of course, the first one we've already touched on, which is our cooking classes. They are the #1 cornerstone to your success. You see, when people come to these experiential 90-minute cooking classes, they are actually doing the cooking. So they're going to be actually seeing, feeling, smelling, and tasting the product, which means the conversion rate onto an order form is through the roof, really high. They taste it, they love it, they buy it. So that's why we want to make sure we can offer as many live cooking events as we possibly can. The next thing that we need to put into our calendar for doing is host coaching. Now, you see, there is the same amount of time invested in a $250 cooking class and a $1,000 cooking class, but it all comes down to host coaching. And there's fabulous information on your Epicure site in Epicure University, so make sure you go in there and take a look. What I will share with you, though, is please be a team player. You know more than the host, so they are waiting for your instruction. So our success formula is, and you can see it on the screen, get your host to invite 20 people. Now, that sounds like a big number. However, if they only invite 10 and half show up, it's a 5-person party, and that's not much of a party, right? If you invite 20, 10 will probably show up, and with 10, you'll be able to have a great cooking class, including the additional orders they can get from people who just don't have time to come. So that is the second thing. Please work on host coaching. Once you got that cooking class, make it worthwhile for both you and your host. We have an amazing fundraiser program. In fact, let me show you what it looks like. These are our boxes, and I'm just wondering, do you know who would like to raise money? I mean, it could be daycares, it could be schools, it could be the church group, it could be a mission, it might be a football, hockey, or dance club. It could even be band. Who doesn't look for money? Now, these fundraiser collections, we've got 3 different ones. We've got one that will cover the appies. We've got one that will do the main course, and of course, healthy desserts. And the organization makes 40% with this. So this is a great way for you to make additional money while helping others raise income. And let's talk also about online cooking classes. Now, I have had so many new consultants join, and one of the things they say to me is, I just want to do my business on social media. And I want to say that there's nothing wrong with that. However, if you're thinking you're going to have the success with virtual as you would live, you may be very disappointed. And here's how come. When you see something on a piece of paper, does it scream by me? When you're actually at cooking classes, and as I said before, they see, smell, touch, and taste, chances are if they love it, they're buying it. So conversion at a virtual cooking class is diminished. However, it works fabulous if you've got customers who already know what they want, are familiar with the brand, and it's just repeat and sharing new product, because once they believe in you and the company, it's a shoo-in. And it's a great way to drive excitement, which brings me to how we deal with customers. Well, let's spend some time, once you get customers, keeping them happy. So you may want to consider doing a Facebook group for VIP customers so that you can keep them up to speed on any new changes, new catalogs, discounts, specials, so on and so forth. We're not allowed to do that publicly. We can do it privately in private groups. So I might recommend that you set up a Facebook private group. Talk to your leader on how to do that. And that brings me to social media. We do not want to be spamming people, and we want to make sure we're making ourselves be of service and be helpful to others. So every time you do something on social media, just do a self-check and ask yourself, Is this important? Is this exciting? Is someone going to be excited to hear about this? Because if you follow those guidelines, chances are you're going to be on the right path. So I've got 2 ideas for you to do here, 2 action steps. The first one is when your Epicure business kit arrives, snap a picture of it. And moving forward, every time a new catalog comes out, new product comes in, snap a picture of it and share. Get that excitement driven, okay? And the other thing is, I want you to think of at least 2 groups that you know are raising money. So that's it for this page on income producing. Let's move on to the next segment. Are you ready? So let's learn a little bit more about cooking classes and why we should do them. Basically, why they are such a success module is because it's 90 minutes of time, which is a fairly short amount of time, that can literally change the lives of people. They're going to come to this event and it's going to be fun because they're going to actually get to taste the food that they're making. Some of you might have been thinking, oh my goodness, you had to cook, right? No, no, no. We actually encourage our guests to be part of the equation, and your job as a consultant is just to impart some information. Now, you might be saying, I don't know anything yet. That's okay, because on your Epicure University, there is so much information for you. And don't get overwhelmed. It is so super easy. We have things like us versus them. We actually will show you how to set up a cooking class from start to finish. And the catalog is a wealth of knowledge. So feel free to actually put Post-it notes in there in the beginning to help you just address some products that you're using. Now, when you're doing those cooking classes, keep it super simple, right? The best way to do this is just pick one theme. And as I mentioned before, that launch party, your first 1 or 2 might be the Mexican, because literally you can rock that. And who doesn't love fajitas, homemade guacamole, and salsa? Like, so super easy. And a meal that families will absolutely love. And when your guests are actually there doing the cooking, you're going to be using the cooking tools, and they're going to see how these cooking tools are so amazing and are such great time savers, making their cooking jobs so much easier. And speaking of easier, when you're doing these cooking classes and you're having fun and your guests are watching you, there's a very good chance someone in that group is looking at you going, I think I could do this too. So don't forget to look at this as an income opportunity for others, right? Because by building a team, you can actually be making residual income with it. And the other thing that you really need to do at cooking classes, your number 1 job, should be getting future bookings. Why? Because future bookings mean you have future business. In fact, we recommend, if you've got a group of 10 people there, there's a very good chance statistically that at least 2 people are going to want to have a cooking class so they can learn another theme and introduce Epicure to their friends and family and get all the free and discounted products. Now, just FYI, in your first full month of joining Epicure, you have unlimited $40 VIP host gifts. And these are built right into the company system, so you don't have to worry about it. As long as the order goes in before your 30-day period has ended, your first section has ended, this will automatically be added to your host order. So if you have any questions about that, talk to your leader, go online, and go look at all the amazing information you can find on Epicure University. Don't get overwhelmed. One step at a time, right? So my action step for you right now is to think about who you are going to offer your first 4, 6, or 8 VIP gifts to. So I would love you to grab that pen and paper and start writing down some names. 4, 6, or 8 people who would like to have that extra $40 of free product of their choice. Okay, let's go on to the next step. What we're going to discuss right now is who do you know? I mean, I know you bought into Epicure, but let's talk about how we're going to expand your business. And quite often what I hear from new consultants is they're just going to do this business with family and friends. And that's a great place to start. But I'm going to share with you a little tip here, okay? Ready? If you do a cooking class with family and friends, and then you do another cooking class with another group, the same group of family and friends, and they come back again and again and again, your business becomes very linear, okay? And eventually, 2-3 months in, they've bought everything. Our product actually lasts a fair distance and a fair amount of time. So your sales will drop. They're not going to want to come because they think they've seen it all, and your business is basically choked right off. That's not really the best way to have a business, right? So instead, Epicure has created this new consultant training to actually explode your business. And I'm going to share how that works with you. So when you join this business, you can get a career launch workbook. This can also be found online as well. And if you actually flip through, there's going to be a section in there called Who Do You Know? And on the opposite page is 12 social circles. And this is so amazing. And here's the whole dealio on this, okay? So each of these circles has a category. And if you were to write 3 to 5 names of people in the family, friends, co-workers area, and then you were to do a cooking class in each one of these groups, and they were different people, what's going to happen is your business is going to go into that group, and then it's going to expand and expand and expand. And that's how you're going to get that explosion, right? And so let's talk about who you could actually put on here. So some of the things that you might want to consider is, FYI, 100% of Epicure's product is gluten-free. So anyone who is gluten insensitive or maybe has celiac disease is going to want to know about us, okay? The other thing is we are in a nut-free facility. Hang on, I'm a nut, but I don't think anyone's allergic to me, okay? And we are also very socially conscious. We know, we see all the time how there's recalls in the food business. And with Epicure, if you want to know what's in your food, you have to cook it. So the best thing you can do is start thinking about people who are concerned about what they want to eat. And you may know people that are actually wanting to release some extra pounds and have a healthier lifestyle, right? So I would love you, in fact, in your workbook or online, you can print off a few pages and actually start writing the names and numbers of people you know. Now, I don't want you to prejudge because we sell a food product, and I don't know if you know this, but everyone eats. And so that means any name that's on here could be a potential customer, they could be a potential host, and they might even be a future team member for you, right? So what I would love you to do is really start thinking about this. So my call to action is for you to think about all the names that you know, put them in those 12 social circles, and then on the next slide that we're going to do, we're going to teach you on how to have effective phone calls with them. So that's a really great project to do, right? So think about your 12 social circles. And by the way, the new consultant perks are all based around you doing 12 cooking classes in your first 90 days. So that being said, you don't have to wait for 90 days to happen. If you want to do them all in a month and a half, totally do that. I know of a consultant who did that, and she was a leader before she was even finished. So her 3 months. So the faster you do them, the faster you can make money, the faster you can go up the ladder. So the question is who do you know? So let's think about all the people, write down 50 names, and then start putting them in those 12 different social circles, and let's get your business exploding. Doesn't that sound like a great idea? Okay, so let's move on to our next set of training, okay? So now that you've got that list of people that you know, it's time to think about how we're going to effectively make a phone call and invite them or offer them a class. So one of the first things I want to let you know is it's not about being pushy and aggressive at all. All it is being upbeat and positive and just sharing some information. And of course, when you're having these conversations, ask lots of questions, okay? And always wait for a pause after you ask a question, because you don't want to come off like a telephone solicitor. I mean, good grief, I get telephone solicitors and I just want to hang up. And that's not what we want your friends, family, and people you know doing to you, right? So what I would love to do is I would love you to really start thinking about a script maybe. And there is information again in your workbook as well as online on how to do a phone call to get a booking. Now, some key things that I would recommend that you do is start by letting them know why you're thinking of calling them. Why did you call them? I was thinking of you because. Make sure you share some perks, but keep it super simple. You don't want to make it confusing, and you don't want to feel like you're really pressuring them because it's food. It should be super easy. And of course, always finish with, can I count on you? So this is what it might sound like. Hi, Ashley, it's Jacqueline. Did I catch you at a good time? Oh my gosh, fabulous. How are you and the kids doing anyway? Perfect. And is Bill still at that job at the warehouse? Great, yeah. What have I been up to? Oh my goodness, you're never going to believe this. I actually got involved in a direct sales business. Have you heard of Epicure? Now, if they've heard of Epicure, chances are they're going to be super excited for you. And once they hear what you have to offer, they're probably going to have a cooking class for you. However, if they don't know about Epicure, you might just, again, want to just share a few little things like, oh my gosh, I'm doing cooking classes where you and your friends get to come over and taste a lot of fabulous, great food. Can I count on you to be one of my first hosts? Okay, so I'm going to continue on. Here you go. So you've never heard of Epicure? Oh my gosh. Well, basically it's where I'm going to have a cooking class. I'm going to show people how to make a meal from raw to ready in 20 minutes or less. I know that you hate to cook, and you always told me that you hang around with the friends that are the same. And I thought this might be a perfect opportunity for you and your friends to have a fun night out. And you know I would never ask anything of you unless there was something in it for you. And I'm so excited because as a brand new consultant, I'm able to gift you free and discounted product just by inviting me into your home and introducing Epicure to your friends and family. And you get to eat the food. Can I count on you to be one of my first hosts so I can gift you that extra $40 VIP gift? Because literally, there's at least $65 of free stuff that you're going to earn just by having me in and having a qualified cooking class. Can I count on you? Great. Now, don't expect that everyone's going to say yes. There may be a time or two that you're going to have the answer no. And I don't want you to take it personal. What I've learned over the years is the reason people say no is usually for one of two reasons. Number one, the timing's not right. They might be renovating their kitchen, they're out traveling, they're sick. It has nothing to do with you personally. And the second thing is maybe they've had a bad experience. Maybe they've had another company come in and do an event at their place. The product might have been overpriced. The rep was pushy, aggressive. Maybe she didn't invite enough people, so she didn't get any perks. I don't know what it is. The best way for you to understand is if you get a no, I want you to be very comfortable with being inquisitive and just say, oh, can I ask you how come it's a no? Now, by being inquisitive, you might hear them say something that's going to inform you on why they're saying no. And sometimes, not always, but sometimes just giving them some additional information, they're going to make a different decision on whether they'll have that cooking class. So some of the things that you might hear is, oh my gosh, this lady was just so pushy. Well, let her know that with food, it's never pushy. I mean, have you ever been to a grocery store where they're sampling something and people are just hovering around waiting to sample? That's what our cooking classes are like. Everyone loves food. and especially sampling it, right? You can also let her know that the bulk of our product is priced under $10, so anyone can afford to come. There's no need to panic about having to buy something that you don't really like and it being a high price point. I'm sure they're going to find one or two or three or a whole list of things that they would love. The other thing is you can let them know that this is going to solve a challenge that they have, because Epicure is a solution to those crazy, oh my gosh, what's for dinner problems, okay? So when you're able to share that this is something that most of their friends want, that's reasonably priced, and everyone's gonna love, why wouldn't they maybe say yes, right? So be comfortable in being inquisitive and just say, can I ask how come? By knowing that, it's going to open a whole bunch of doors, because when people know more, they're more open to maybe welcoming you into their home. So I would love you to think about writing down a script. Now, I might have come off fairly easy, but remember, I've been doing this for a long period of time, and no script is exactly the same, because it really depends on who I'm talking to. So there's information online about doing a script, and once you've got one created, I would love you to just start practicing. The best way to practice is in front of a mirror smiling. And it's not that you want to come off like a telephone solicitor, but practice makes sort of yourself more comfortable, okay? And the more you say it, the more relaxed you'll be. So my action step here, write a script down. What would you likely say if you were to call those 50 people that's on that list that you just created, okay? And then we're moving on to our next step. Here we go. Are you ready? Okay, so now you've got all those cooking classes booked, and it's really time for you to do your magic on host coaching. We talked earlier about how you can do in 90 minutes a $250 cooking class or a $1,000 cooking class, and it all comes down to host coaching. In your business kit, when you get it, you're actually going to have some host envelopes, and clearly written on the back are basically 5 steps for you to get your host to have the most effective, profitable, fun cooking class they can possibly have. So let's break it down. First off, you want to keep it super simple. Let's just go through here. Have your host do their #1 job, which is invite, invite, invite. And in fact, right on your form, you're actually going to see where there's an area for them to write names. So I would challenge you to get your host to fill this as full as they can, okay? And then get them to start making some phone calls and get them to the event, okay? What we found is usually about 50% will actually attend because they're committed to another event. And just because they don't come to the event doesn't mean that they don't eat, and it doesn't mean that they might not want to order. So make sure you always supply your host with a catalog link to either the cooking class or to the catalog so guests can view it in advance. Now, all the host has to do is collect the orders and payment, and it can count towards the cooking class, okay? You might even want to challenge your host to find $100 of sales before you even get to the cooking class. Why wouldn't you give her a free spice and give him a free spice of their choice, okay? Now, the other thing that I've found over the years is hosts usually want to have a buffet. And when you factor in that our cooking classes usually happen in the evening, right after the supper hour, we don't need to feed them. We only need to have a taste test. So there is an area on here for you to just write the simple ingredients that they need. This should cost less than $25. Basically a couple chicken breasts if you're doing the Mexican, some avocados, some tomatoes, some onions maybe. It's a very, very small list, and that way the host isn't filling the table with a whole bunch of product that you don't even sell, right? It's just going to confuse the customers. So make sure you get your host to keep it super simple and stay on task. Just have these items. They'll be full, trust me. Now, the other thing is you want to get the host to remind all the people who are coming to attend, because we all get busy, right? And if we don't get that reminder, chances are it will slip our mind. So make sure that you contact and stay in contact with your host and remind the host to invite their friends or re-invite their friends and remind them about the event that's coming up, right? And then have that host start to compile the items that they would like to get fair discounted, because honestly, with a qualified cooking class, your host should be able to save at least $100 of product, either free, discounted, or half price with our host benefits. And it doesn't come out of your pocket. The company pays for it 100%. So with all this, if you're able to follow host coaching, chances are you're going to get 10 people at least at that event. When 10 people get there, there's probably at least 2 who are going to say, oh my gosh, this was so much fun. I want to do this with my friends and family as well. And that's your future business and future income. And at least one person there is maybe looking at this business as an opportunity. You know who that probably is? Your host. Because she's invited her friends and family and they love it so much, she's thinking, I should maybe do this. So make sure you always offer an opportunity for the host to join your team. You might be surprised. They just might join you. Okay, so let's learn about how we're going to invite people to become part of our team. Are you ready to learn this? Okay, so let's go into the next step. Okay, we're going to talk about team building, and you may be saying, oh my goodness, I just bought a business kit. What the heck are you doing, Jacqueline? And I just want to let you know, you need to just get comfortable with it, because honestly, there are so many people out there that are needing to find a way to make some extra cash. And with food, it's such an easy opportunity. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about how do you find team members. So the first thing is we need to prospect. And what does that mean? Well, we just need to start thinking about who might need some extra cash. Now, for some of you, you may be sitting in a cubicle, you're not getting out much, you may be homebound. The best recommendation I can do is get you out of your home and start networking, okay? That could be going out to the park, it could be joining different groups, it might be doing some volunteering, it might just be becoming more social. Just start having conversations with people. That's how team building is done. Don't overcomplicate it. You see, when you're having conversations with people that you meet, when you're asking questions and listening, you're going to hear clues. And clues you might hear is someone saying, oh my gosh, I hate my job. Or, oh, I'd love to travel. I just don't know where I'd find the cash. Or, oh, my mat leave is going to be ending pretty soon and I don't want to go back to my old job and leave my baby behind. It might be someone who says, I'm just new to the area and I don't know anyone here. It might be someone who just says, gosh, I just need more money. There's more month than money. I don't know how I'm going to pay that bill. You see, when you're having conversations, casual conversations with people, those clues are an opportunity for you to start thinking in your head, could Epicure maybe be a solution to that challenge? So if they hated their job, maybe they want to be their own boss. If they want to stay home with their baby and make some income, could Epicure maybe be that opportunity? If they want to go travel, could the money that they make with Epicure be the rainy day fund for the trip that they would want to go on? Maybe it's someone who is getting married soon and needs to come up with some extra cash for all those extra little beautiful things that they want for the wedding, right? So just by having conversations and listening, you may be starting to think, wow, Epicure might be an opportunity. And then all you need to do is open your mouth and say, if I could show you a way for you to be able to stay home with your baby and make some extra income, would you be interested in having coffee with me? Or, you know what, if you hate your job so much, would you like to learn about maybe another opportunity that might be okay for you? I don't know. What would it be worth? Why don't you come for coffee? Right? So just think about things like that. Remember, if you keep your mouth closed, you'll never sponsor. But if you start just having conversations and listen, there's a very good chance that you're going to see that maybe Epicure is a solution. And remember, Epicure can be many things to many people. Maybe someone's just looking at this as a little way to make a few extra $100 a month, so it's a little side hustle around a job they love. It might be someone who is thinking they need more part-time. They're wanting to make maybe $1,000 or $2,000 extra a month working part-time with this. Or maybe it's someone that hates their job so much, are very entrepreneurial, and are saying, I want this. And it could be someone like me. Remember, I'm going to tell you a story here. When I started, no direct sales experience, I introduced this to my friends and said, hey, you guys, do you love the product? And 3 of those girlfriends joined my business almost immediately, within the first month and a half. If I had never opened my mouth, my team would be 0. So my question to you is, what are you going to do? Do you want to start building a team and having residual income? Now, you're probably saying, okay, Jacqueline, it sort of sounds okay, but I don't know anything. Don't worry. Your job is just to find the people, and when they come into the business, they're going to come onto this training just like you're on, and we're going to train them on how to get off to a great start. It's not your responsibility for their success. Your leader will do the training to help them be successful and be part of your team. So also, in our career launch program, the company is actually going to gift you $50 for every person that you sign that actually is qualified in your 90 days of joining or in your career launch plan, okay? So that being said, how many extra $100 do you want? So what I would love you to do, an action step right now, if you can build a dream team, like if you could think of anyone to join this business, who would you like to invite onto your dream team? Can you think of anyone? Think of 2 people, actually. Who are 2 people that you think would be really good at this business and that you would love to work with? Okay, so let's move on to the next step. Remember, team building isn't difficult. Don't make it difficult, okay? Let's learn some more, okay? Okay, so we've been doing a lot of training, and why would we be training you if we weren't going to incent you, right? So let's talk about what's in it for you, the rewards that we're going to shower you with when you actually complete the career launch program. So in this career launch, there is over $2,000 worth of value packed inside here. Everything from extra cash to more product to business vouchers. It's literally a win-win-win. And all you need to do is follow the plan step by step. It's basically those 12 cooking classes, those 12 social circles, and building a few team members in there. So why not just tap into all the trainings so you can learn and grow? What are you waiting for? So like I said earlier, far better for you to get started with your new career launch sooner than later. Don't get cold feet. Get that launch party started and get those cooking classes happening. The sooner you do them, the faster you reap the rewards that are built right into the program. Sounds great, right? Okay, so let's almost finish off. Let's see what else we can learn for your new consultant training. Okay, so let's learn some best practices. Now, best practices to help you grow your business and best practices to not get yourself in trouble. So the first thing I'm going to touch on is dressing for success. Remember, we sell a food product, which means who is your potential customer? Everybody. So that means that whenever you're meeting people, there's a chance that you can be building your business. Now, if you walk out the door looking a little dumpy and a little, you know what I'm saying, remember, first impressions are made in 3 to 7 seconds. So are you going to be approachable? I would recommend that you really think, go look in the mirror and say to yourself, do I look like a person people would want to approach, okay? That would be how I would use it, okay? I'm not saying you have to wear a ball gown, but be put together, all right? Speaking of being put together, in Epicure, honestly, this is why you're going to become an ambassador to helping so many people change their life while you're changing yours. there is an Epic Life program, and you're actually going to see pictures on the screen. This is me before and after. I went on the Epic Life Challenge. It's a 90-day program where I basically ate like crazy. These are some of the food things I would have eaten: breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It is not a diet. It's just real food, healthy food in the right combinations at the right time. In that program, in 90 days, I released 19.8 pounds and over 20 inches, personally myself. And I can tell you, it works. The reason I'm sharing this is I would challenge and encourage you to do the Epic Life Challenge yourself. Reason being is when you do that, you will become your own walking billboard. People will be saying, oh my gosh, what have you been doing? You look fabulous. Remember, 9 out of 10 people want to get healthy. And with Epicure, that's what we are on. We're on a mission to help people figure out how to get healthy again, how to change that slope that we're on going downhill and level it out or have it move up, okay? So really think about becoming a product of the product and getting on the program. Now let's talk a little bit about your advertising. The trademark is very sensitive and the company wants to maintain that. And so what I would recommend is that you read your business guide on what is allowed and not allowed. In a nutshell, here's what is allowed. Anytime home office shares something, you can share it. How it gets sticky is if you think you're going to create something using the Epicure name, you're going to get yourself in trouble. Don't do that, okay? If you have any questions about that, connect with your leader, read your business guide, or approach home office. Got it? Okay, a couple other things is I want to talk to you about permanent retail settings. We cannot sell in permanent retail settings, and that doesn't mean a mall. I'm going to tell you what it includes, okay? So no garage sales, no farmers markets, no little kiosks, no weekend markets that go throughout the year, okay? Even if it's just for 2 or 3 months, not allowed, okay? We are promoting a direct sale, home-based business, direct to consumer, and that's the integrity of the product. So don't get yourself caught up in that. That being said, here's another thing. You cannot sell on public venues such as Facebook, buy and sell, garage sales, Kijiji, not allowed. People will rat you out and you will get a phone call from home office and could get yourself in a little bit of trouble and even maybe get kicked out of the company. And who wants that to happen, right? So just don't do it. If you're ever in question, connect with your leader, read your business guide, or approach home office before they approach you, okay? That's the best way to do it. Now, I lastly want to say, I am so surprised with all the people that I call, how many of you do not put a sign on your picket fence? And what do I mean by that? Do you have an email signature when you're sending out emails, letting people know that you're an independent Epicure consultant? Are you sharing your website? And do you now have a message on your answer machine? Because if you don't, you should. Okay, so I would love you. In fact, my challenge and my action step here is take a little bit of time to actually go into your settings on your computer and on your phone and get a signature created and get onto your phone and get that recorded message so when you're not there, people will know you're an independent Epicure consultant, that you have a website, and that you're open for business. It's passive advertising, and it is totally allowed, okay? So we're almost finished. Let's continue on, and we're almost done. All right, we're down to our final stretch. We're going to do a recap, so grab your pen and paper, and let's review what we've learned on our new consultant training. Are you ready to crush your career plan? Okay, so here we go. Number 1, organize your work calendar. Remember, 3 months, find at least 8 open dates per month for you to make business for yourself so you can make money, right? 8 open dates filled will make you great, trust me. Number 2, your launch class. Don't wait. Seriously, get this launch class done 7 to 10 days from when you signed up. Why do we do it within 7 to 10 days? Well, it gives you an opportunity to tap into the VIP $40 benefit because you as well can get this. And this only happens in your first month of joining. So take advantage. Don't let it delay. You've got 30 days of using this VIP. Got it? Okay. Now remember, we also talked about keeping it super simple. Yes, do only one theme per cooking class. Why? If you do all of them, A, you're going to overwhelm, but B, why would they ever want to have a cooking class with you when they've seen it all? So this will kill your future bookings. So keep your business simple. So people are saying, oh, that was easy. That was fun. I want to learn more, right? Now, that being said, we had talked about how you could do your career launch around 12 social circles. Do you remember that? Well, by having a cooking class with those 12 different social circles in that 90-day career launch time period, you have rocked 90% of this program. And you're going to reap the rewards, right? Earn while you learn. Okay, next, I want to talk to you about shadowing cooking classes. If you are doing cooking classes and you want to see how they're done maybe differently than what you're doing, remember, you can always go and shadow a cooking class with a consultant who lives near you. Make sure you phone them and ask if you can attend. If there is no one in your neighborhood, just know that there's online cooking class training on My Epicure University at myepicure.com, okay? Now, when you tap in, you're probably going to be successful. The most successful people in this business are people who come to meetings to get trained and stay engaged. Connect equals success, okay? So please know that your leader has monthly meetings, plus I also host conference calls at least twice a month that you can tap into. And if you want to go hear past recordings, they're up on my website in a secured area where you can actually learn 24/7 when the timing's right for you. Stay tuned. We're going to share that website on the next screen. And last but not least, let people know that you're building a team. Remember, I have been in this business a long time, and I have seen so many people not mention that they were building a team, and their best friends, family members, neighbors join with someone else simply because someone else mentioned it. That's all. So you don't have to be pushy. Remember what I said? I introduced it to my stay-at-home moms, and 3 of my girlfriends signed up almost instantly. So all I did was open my mouth. You can do that too, right? And last but not least, have fun. This is a food business. And isn't food fun? I mean, think about every party you've ever been to. Don't you hover around in the kitchen where the food is? And that's what our business is all about. Stay connected with your leader, okay? So that is basically our career launch program in a nutshell, right? So you've probably got some questions. I hope you've been writing things down. So let's move on to our very last screen, okay? Well, we have now completed our new consultant training. I am so proud you've invested the time, the effort in building this business and learning more about your Epicure business kit. You know, as I mentioned at the onset, we have never been in this place in our lifetime in the world where people are struggling just to live, where our children are at risk of not having a higher life expectancy than us. And by you joining and becoming an ambassador to share this movement with others means you care and you're going to help us share the mission and help others get to a healthier them. So thank you so much. We can't do it without you. The world needs Epicure and Epicure needs you. Now on that note, just know you're going to have some highs and you're going to have some lows. We are here. There's a whole Epicure National organization here to support you. The McGrath National is here. And we've walked the walk and talked the talk, and we've been there. We've had our challenges, and we're here to support you. So my last question before you leave this training is, what do you want your epic journey to look like? What is your epic life going to be? It is totally up to you. You can be a side hustle to make a few extra $100 a month, so you're getting product for yourself, a few family and friends. You can be using this as a part-time opportunity where you're maybe sharing it with some of the community, making an extra few $1,000s a month. Or you can really rise through the ranks, through our career plan, and really build big. Become one of our Epicure millionaires, making a multi-six-figure income and sharing both your love of food and your love of the business. So no matter what you decide, it is your decision to take. You know what? Don't play small. We have so many people to reach. The world needs us. We need to turn this around. And good food is how it's going to happen around a dinner plate with family and friends. So thank you again. I look forward to seeing your results in your career launch, and I wish you all the success that you would want. Take care, everyone. I hope to connect really soon again. Bye.
So that's the end of our training, folks. And what I just would like to ask you, I mean, so often I say, I've never seen a computer spit out $100 bills with me. And coming on to trainings like this is great to learn tips and hear some great things, but it means nothing unless you actually implement it. So I would really like you to just take some time as you head off this call to think about how much income you really want to make. Did you want to, I know I started just thinking I wanted to get my business kit paid off and I was planning on quitting. However, I soon found that going out and meeting people and helping people and feeling of value and letting my husband bond with my children at home and me having a fun night out was not something I wanted to leave. So here I am years later being one of those Epicure millionaires simply because I love what I do. And if I can do it, you could too. So what number do you have in mind? What's going to be your next step? And even if you're a seasoned consultant, this is the beginning of the year, or if you're in the middle of the year and something's happened and you've taken your foot off the gas, the time to start is now. Don't delay, don't get cold feet, just be your own commercial and just do it, okay? So if you have any questions that you've taken written down along the way and you've got them in your book, I would love you to please connect with your leader, get any additional support and training that you need to help fill in those gaps. And again, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedules. I'm wishing you great success in launching this exciting opportunity for you. Take care, everyone. Bye for now.